Harcourt. Speaker of House of Representatives appeals to striking Nigerian lecturers to resume work. And on the foreign scene, EU criticizes new US travel ban. Now, the details. The Rivers State Executive Council has set up an awareness creation committee for the prevention of coronavirus in the state. Commissioner for Information and Communication, Paulinus Insirim, told the newsmen after the State Executive Council meeting presided over the Governor Nyesom Wike that the committee is made up of 5 members. The committee, which is chaired by the Commissioner of Information, Paulinus Insirim, has as members Commissioner for Health, Professor Chike Princeville, Commissioner for Environment, Igibs Tamuno, Commissioner of Chieftaincy and Community Affairs, Olisa Tasi Amadi, and Commissioner for Youth Affairs, Ohia Prince. The commissioner said the committee is to ensure that the citizens of the state and the 23 local government areas get adequate information that will stop them from contracting the virus. Rivers State Deputy Governor Ipalibo Harry Banigo has inaugurated a technical committee on the Wakama and Pogo community boundary dispute. Speaking during the inauguration at the Government House in Port Harcourt, Harry Banigo reiterated Governor Nyesom Wike's determination to promote peace and development in all parts of the state. Delivering the message of the Deputy Governor, a member of the Rivers State Boundary Commission, Chief Silas Eneyo, urged the members of the technical committee to work within the terms of reference and ensure they carry out their assignments with utmost diligence and impartiality. On his part, the chairman of the technical committee on Wakama and Pogo boundary dispute, Charles Epum, who is the deputy controller of immigration, expressed gratitude to the deputy governor for finding members of the committee worthy to serve the state, assuring that they would do everything humanly possible to resolve the lingering boundary disputes between the two communities. The Port Harcourt Electricity Distribution Company has held a public consultation on the intending electricity tariff increment. Speaking at the event in Port Harcourt, PHEDC's Manager of Corporate Communications, John Oyi, said with the nature of the current exchange, there is need for tariff review, adding that there has not been any review for over 2 years.
They wanted to avoid what is regarded as a price shock. Hence, it is a gradual process of reaching what the rate tariff will be. For instance, in 2015, R2 customers, we are using R2 customers as a baseline. In 2015, the residential customer was 15 naira 9 kobo. In 2016, it went to 24 naira 91 kobo. In 2017, and that is exactly what we are still operating now, 30 naira 23 kobo. In 2018, 2019, there was no adjustment. And of course, the discos, the electricity industry should not be stifled, should not go into moribund. Hence, NEC is wisdom came up with this one in order to attain cost-effective one. And of course, they have considered a lot of variables. The exchange rate in 2015, $1 to naira was 107 naira. And of course, we operated in 2015 a inflationary rate as against what it was in 2019.
Meanwhile, some participants at the public consultation forum questioned the poor electricity supply in the state as they urged that the company has no right to increase tariff as it has failed to improve power supply.
We are not in support of the increase. The right meeting procedure should take up. They should take that point and go and tell them that we are not in support of the increase. And again, if they want to increase, they should serve us better. We will not argue with them. Are they increasing and serving us the same way? We have not seen anything. We are not fools. Are just to give our money out every time.
To certain about increment in tariff. You know, so for us, they have failed woefully, and we cannot continue. Why did this say so? This is a document prepared by both NEC and PhD. You know, extraying the ECA Act. This Act is actually the Electricity Act. You know, that protects all stakeholders and of course consumers in the electricity sector.
To be aware of what we have seen is shoddy arrangement in every sense, and it shows the disrespect the Port Harcourt Electricity Distribution Company has for the customers, because they're operating a monopoly market. We either take it or we leave it, and that is unfair. That's why the Rivers State government, the National Assembly.
Our correspondent Priye Izogu reports that there was no agreement reached between PHEDC and customers at the forum in Port Harcourt. 6 suspected criminals terrorizing part of Mile 3 and Mile 2 Diob in Port Harcourt City local government area of Rivers State have been apprehended by members of Diob Vigilante Group. Marvelous Chuku, Victor, Michael Luke, Daniel Goswe Uchenna, Egbelefu, and Goswe Enso, popularly called Manfiro, were apprehended in different locations in the area. Spokesman for Diob Vigilante Group, Prince Amatari Bipele Die, who confirmed the incident to our correspondent, said Manfiro was arrested based on the credible information while in an operation in Emole Street in Mile 2 with a gang of 6 and 6 rounds of pistol was recovered from him. Amatari Bipele Die also explained how the other hoodlums were arrested.
Diob Vigilante today when apprehended one notorious criminal by name Goswill Emshaw, aka Manfero, with a 6-round revolver pistol recovered from him. Goswill Emshaw was in a 5-man gang robbing residents of Emole before he was apprehended. Another of his gang members fled. One Victor from Imo State was also apprehended by the Diob Vigilante, where the Victor, his gang member, were robbing residents of Ekwe in Maitrejo, Port Harcourt, before he was apprehended with a 6 revolver pistol. In fact, the incident on that 6th of March 2020 was so severe that residents of Diob were running helter-skelter, where these criminals came in their number more than 40, shared themselves among residents in Mile 2, and started collecting people's valuables at gunpoint. In fact, so many persons lost their valuables to this criminal on that 6th.
The spokesman of Diob Vigilante, however, blamed the increase in criminal activities on recent comments by some persons against security agencies.
Also, resident of Obidanson noticed the Diob Vigilante how a corpse was buried in a shallow grave at the waterfront. Also, in that St. Thomas axis of Query Road, linking Ikoku, where some boys came out with AK-47 in a broad daylight. In fact, if you go to a show waterfront, if you go to Obidanson waterfront, another waterfront, these criminals are back to resume their activities. And this was what we saw, that we're advising the public to guide their utterances against security agencies, because criminals will definitely take advantage of the public discrediting these security agencies. And at the end of the day, it is still the public that is suffering, because some of these statements that were made against the police are weakening the police, and the police cannot work the way they're supposed to work.
Officials of the Rivers State Task Force on Illegal Motor Parked and Street Trading have alleged that their job is being sabotaged by security agencies. The commander of the task force in Rumokoro-Boku Igrita zone, Jerry Amadi, told our correspondent Sandra Kenneth that he was allegedly harassed by some security agencies from the counter-terrorism unit while carrying out his duty. Amadi said he was harassed in the process of chasing away defaulting drivers loading at the Rumokoro roundabout.
At about this morning, when I resumed duty at that Rumokoro roundabout there, where we instructed the bus driver not to load and offload there at the roundabout there, in order for them not to be constricting a nuisance and causing a traffic there. Now, there was this bus man who was loading there, where he was not supposed to load. I apprehended him. There's a patrol team there, this CTU, counter-terrorism unit area. They were just going on their way. Nothing concerns them. He started assaulting me in public. What has the CTU, the counter-terrorism unit, got to do with interfering with the business of the River State government task force? That is something I'm still asking, because right now I think our life now is not being threatened, even by police themselves, especially the counter-terrorism unit. So I don't know, we are not terrorists.
When contacted, spokesman of the Rivers State Police Command, Nnamdi Umoni, said the command is not aware of the situation. One John Friday Jumbo has been arraigned before a magistrate court sitting in Port Harcourt for 2-count charge of child theft and conspiracy. Friday Jumbo, who is accused of conspiring with others now at large to steal the child who is still missing in Alu community in the Query local government area of Rivers State. She pleaded not guilty to the 2-count charge, after which her counsel applied for her bail, which was, however, opposed by the prosecution counsel. Senior Magistrate Rita Ogugo, in her ruling, ordered that the accused be remanded in the Nigerian Correctional Facility in Port Harcourt and face 19th of March 2020 for ruling of the bail application. Speaking outside the courtroom with our correspondent Uchendu Ejowo, the mother of the missing child, Ijoma Waga, insisted that the accused is guilty.
She came with another baby girl. She said that baby was her own 9 months. I've not seen the baby before, but she came with it that day and said that baby was her own 9 months. So I said, okay, she now carried my son and her own baby, went inside. Unknowing to me that another person was inside the house. So when I went back, she now came and knocked at my door. And when I come out, I was standing at the corridor. She and the man was outside with other of my tenants that were sitting outside there. She now called me and said, Auntie, I should look her, I should see her husband. She now says, sir, welcome. He said, yes. Man now asked me, madam, am I her landlady? I said, yes. She said, che, am I the mother of that fine baby that was inside their house? I said, yes. She said that this baby is too beautiful, Lord. I thought that the baby was a baby girl. I said, it's my own.
Meanwhile, the bail application of one Destiny Akimetonibi, who is accused of child trafficking, conspiracy, stealing and selling of a 3-year-old baby, will be heard on the 19th of March 2020. According to the charges read out in court, Akimetonibi is alleged to have stolen the 3-year-old Okpele Honest in a community in Nabua Odua local government area of Rivers State and proceeded to Eleme local government to sell the child for the sum of 150,000 naira. Prosecution counsel, however, opposed the bail application by counsel to the defendant. Our correspondent, Uchendu Ejowo, reports that the senior magistrate, Rita Ogugo, after listening to the parties, reserved the bail application to the 19th of March 2020 for hearing and ordered that the accused be remanded in the Nigerian Correctional Facility pending the ruling on the bail application. The Port Harcourt Zone of Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has reiterated its readiness to continue with the 2 weeks warning strike despite federal government threat of no work, no pay. South-South Zonal Coordinator of ASU, Uzo Onye Binama, in an interview with newsmen in Port Harcourt, said the union embarked on strike as the federal government has failed to honor and implement the memorandum of action that it entered into with the union on the 7th of February 2019. Onye Binama added that the reasons for the strike are issues that could have been avoided, making reference to the enrollment of ASU into the Integrated Payroll and Personal Information Service IPs.
We raised an alarm about the brewing crisis in our universities due to the unwillingness of the federal government to honor and implement components of the Memorandum of Action that it entered into with the union on 7 February 2019. The components of this MOA were outstanding issues carried over from the 2017 Memorandum of Action. The federal government, consistent with its character, has willfully reneged on agreements it's freely entered into. This warning strike is an attempt by the union to draw attention to the breach of the 2019 MOA by the federal government and to call on all men and women of goodwill to prevail on the government to honor its agreement in order to forestall a major crisis in the university system.
Onye Binama also alleged that there is no substantial evidence to prove the claims by the Minister of Finance and National Planning, Zainab Shamsuna, that IPs has flushed out 700,000 ghost workers from the payroll of the federal government.
Performance audits of IPs by the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation indicated a myriad of shortcomings that make IPs amenable to manipulation at will by the system operators. This is a red alert that the lieutenants of the federal government have turned a blind eye to, probably for pecuniary reasons. The claims by the Minister of Finance and National Planning that IPs has flushed out 70,000 ghost workers on the payroll of the federal government has not been substantiated by any empirical evidence and is probably fraudulent. We make bold to demand answers from the Minister to the following questions. What are the identities of these ghost workers? How were they enrolled in the payroll of the federal government? Who enrolled them? Into what banks were their salaries paid? And who withdrew these salaries from the banks?
Our correspondent Sandra Kenneth reports that the chairman of ASU in the University of Port Harcourt, Ignatius Adjuri University of Education, Niger Delta University, Federal University, Otuike, were all present at the briefing. In the meantime, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has appealed to members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, to call off the 2 weeks warning strike. Gbajabiamila said the union should consider the negative effect of their action on the students and continue negotiations with the government. The speaker made the appeal in a meeting with the leadership of the House, ASU, and federal government in Abuja. Gbajabiamila blamed the government for the action of ASU for failing to honor the agreement between it and the university teachers reached in 2009. He also appealed to ASU to obey the directive of the government to register in the Integrated Personnel Payroll Information System, IPS. Recall that there had been a disagreement between ASU and the federal government on the 2009 agreement and the IPs, leading to another strike by the university teachers on Monday. National Chairman of ASU, Professor Ogunyemi, said that it was not possible for ASU to join the IP's payroll, saying that it would impede scholarly researches and image of the Nigerian universities both home and abroad. A constitution amendment bill which prescribes higher national diploma HND or its equivalent as the educational qualification required for anyone seeking to contest the office of the Nigerian president or state governors has passed second reading at the Senate. The bill, which is sponsored by a member of the People's Democratic Party PDP Senator Isfifanus Gang from Plateau State, also recommends national diploma or its equivalent as the minimum qualification for federal and state lawmakers. The bill seeks to amend